Are you wondering if a back brace would be helpful for you? Has it been recommended to you by family or friends, or you just seen somebody wearing it at the gym and thought maybe that would work for me too? Are you wondering if there's any downsides to potentially using a back brace? Well, then listen on, because we are going to give you some tips and tricks to work on your back right now, and if you should use a back brace or not. So, I'm Dr. Amy with Physical Therapy for Everybody, and a lot of patients with back pain or who are concerned about having back pain, maybe it runs in their family or something, wonder if they should use a back brace for exercise, for daily activities, or when their back is hurting. So we wanted to talk about that today because we get that question so often. I wanted to give you guys some ideas on when it's a good idea to use a back brace and when it's probably not the best idea for you. Now, what does the back brace actually do? Let's start with that. It helps to create some more stability in your low back. So if your back is feeling a little tight and stiff and it just feels like things aren't moving right, it kind of helps to give you some support. It's kind of like a corset, right? It kind of helps hold everything in together. So that can be good if you are doing something like heavy lifting, like if you're moving. So I see a lot of people will wear back braces when they're moving, and when you're lifting big things like refrigerators or beds or couches or things that are really heavy, it can be really helpful to have that back brace on because it helps to keep your back nice and stable. And so it will prevent any potential injury because it doesn't allow your back to move into kind of those weird positions that tend to cause injuries. So it can be really helpful to give you that support, to give you that awareness of your back when you're doing those heavy lifting activities. Now, if you're doing heavy lifting at the gym, should you be wearing a back brace? In general, I recommend no. Because if you're doing heavy lifting in the gym, you really want to be focusing on making sure you're using the proper body mechanics to be able to lift those heavy weights without hurting your back. Because while you're lifting those heavy weights and working on your arms or your legs or whatever, you also want to be working in that stability in your back to support that strength you have in your arms and your legs. So you want to train your back to be able to support the strength that you have. So when you're training or when you're in the gym, you really don't want to be wearing a back brace because the point is you're trying to be working on your back. And if you're wearing a brace, it does decrease the activity of the muscles in your back. Not a lot. It doesn't, the brace never completely turns off the back. I've heard some people say that, and no, it doesn't. It supports, it helps, it doesn't totally turn off the muscles. But think about it. If you're in the gym and you're trying to train your muscles, then do you want to put something on it that decreases the training of those muscles? Well, no, because that's what you're at the gym for. But if you're moving, which is a more occasional activity, and we don't usually carry around refrigerators and couches and things that are awkwardly shaped and maybe difficult to move, then you probably do want to have a brace on because that will kind of help support your back and give you a little bit of extra comfort while you're doing those heavy lifting activities. Now, how about on a day-to-day basis? Should you wear a back brace? Well, for some people who are in certain stages of having issues with their back, I definitely do recommend it. So I do have some patients who have had a flare-up of their back pain, and it just is really difficult to move at all because they just have this really excruciating back pain. And not that we want you at that point to be going out and doing any heavy lifting or anything like that, but you got to get up and go to the bathroom or make dinner or do things like that on a daily basis. So in cases like that, I will have people go ahead and use a back brace so that they're able to do their daily activities, and it will help with the pain a little bit. But in general, with your day-to-day activities, we don't want you wearing a back brace because, again, we want to use those activities to help train your muscles and to get them to be that natural back brace. So actually the abdominals, there's 4 different abdominals and they all go different directions, and when they're all working together, they help to form that natural corset that is in our bodies. So really we want to activate those abdominals and get them moving correctly so they're naturally causing that bracing in your low back to help keep you from having an injury. So we don't want to discourage that on a daily basis, but occasionally we do have to help support it when there's an injury going on for a period of time until those muscles are able to kick in and work normally again. So usually once we've gotten the pain down a little bit, then we can do more functional activities. Then we'll have people take the brace off. So although we may start with it for a short period of time when there's an injury, we're going to want to wean off of that for the long term. Again, with patients who have had a history of an injury, when we've weaned off that brace, I will still recommend that they use it if they're doing something that's really unusual, like moving, where they're lifting heavy objects that are awkwardly shaped. It is nice to have that extra support. But we don't want you to have to rely on it to be able to do your daily activities, because then we're not getting that activation of your natural corset muscles, which help to form that brace naturally. So should you use a back brace? There are times that I would definitely recommend it for those really extraordinary situations, either when you're in a lot of pain, when you're helping someone move, or you're moving yourself, or you're really having an unusually high level of activity and you have a history of back pain. But do we want to use it on a daily basis? Well, no, because we want to activate those abdominals with our daily activity. And definitely if you're doing any exercise, we definitely want to be working those abdominals, right? That's the whole point of doing exercise, is to help get us toned and fit. So we want to make sure we're using those muscles too. All right, if you have any more questions on if you should use a back brace or not, feel free to give us a call, 425-658-4944. We would love to have a body chat and give you some more specific ideas on back brace for you regarding your situation. And if you have any questions about low back pain, again, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about what's going on with you, hear your story, and see if we might be the right fit to help you. Have a great day, everyone.